The air crackled with tension, as if the very heavens were aware of the impending conflict. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, a prelude to the storm that was about to break. The year was 1780, a time of great upheaval and transformation. The world was changing rapidly, and nowhere was this more evident than in the Indian subcontinent. In the southern part of India, two powerful forces were on a collision course. The land, rich in culture and history, was about to witness a monumental struggle. On one side stood the British East India Company, a trading behemoth with growing territorial ambitions. This was no ordinary company. It wielded immense power, backed by the might of the British Crown. On the other side was the Kingdom of Mysore, a proud and independent state, led by the astute and ambitious Hyder Ali. Hyder Ali was not just a ruler. He was a visionary who saw the potential for a strong and united Mysore. The Second Anglo-Mysore War was about to begin. This was not merely a battle for territory. It was a battle for the soul of a nation. It would be a conflict for dominance, a struggle for survival, and a clash of empires. The stakes were incredibly high, and both sides were prepared to go to any lengths to achieve victory. This was not just a war between two armies. It was a confrontation between two vastly different worlds, each with its own values, beliefs, and aspirations. It was a clash of ideologies. The British East India Company, driven by profit and expansion, sought to establish its dominion over the subcontinent. They represented the forces of colonialism and imperialism. The British East India Company, with its well-trained soldiers and advanced weaponry, believed it could easily subdue the local forces. They had already established a foothold in various parts of India and were now looking to expand their influence further. Hyder Ali, a brilliant military strategist and a shrewd ruler, was determined to resist the encroaching British influence. He knew that the future of his kingdom depended on his ability to outmaneuver and outfight the British forces. He envisioned an independent and powerful Mysore, free from external interference. His dream was to create a state that could stand on its own, proud and unyielding in the face of foreign domination. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shape the destiny of South India. The outcome of this war would have far-reaching consequences, not just for the two warring parties, but for the entire region. The soldiers on both sides were ready, their faces etched with determination. They knew that the coming battle would be fierce and unforgiving, but they were prepared to fight for their respective causes. The war would be marked by numerous battles, each one a testament to the bravery and resilience of the soldiers. Treaties would be signed and broken, alliances would be forged and shattered, and the landscape of southern India would be forever changed. Amidst the chaos of war, life in Mysore continued. The people went about their daily lives, their spirits unbroken by the conflict raging around them. The rich culture and traditions of Mysore remained a source of strength and inspiration. The British, with their vast resources, continued to send reinforcements and supplies to their troops. They were determined to win at any cost, believing that their superior technology and tactics would give them the upper hand. Hyder Ali, on the other hand, inspired his troops with his unwavering resolve and charismatic leadership. He reminded them of the importance of their cause and the need to defend their homeland from foreign invaders. The battles were intense and brutal, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The soldiers fought valiantly, their courage and determination shining through even in the darkest moments. In the aftermath of each battle, the true cost of war became evident. The wounded were tended to, the dead were mourned, and the land bore the scars of the fierce fighting. Yet, amidst the devastation, there was also hope. The resilience of the human spirit shone through, a reminder that even in the face of great adversity, the will to survive and thrive endures. The clash of empires in southern India was a defining moment in history. It was a testament to the enduring struggle for power, freedom, and identity. As the dust settled, the legacy of this conflict would continue to shape the region for generations to come. Hyder Ali was no ordinary ruler. Born into a humble military family, he had risen through the ranks to become the de facto ruler of Mysore. He was a man of extraordinary courage, military acumen, and political astuteness. Hyder Ali had modernized his army, incorporating European training and weaponry. He understood the importance of artillery and cavalry, creating a formidable force that could challenge the British. Hyder Ali was also a shrewd diplomat. He understood the importance of alliances in the game of power. He knew that the British, though powerful, were not invincible. He recognized the shared animosity towards the British among other Indian rulers and sought to forge alliances to counter their growing influence. His diplomacy aimed to create a united front against the common enemy, safeguarding Mysore's sovereignty and challenging British dominance. The British East India Company, initially a trading enterprise, had gradually transformed into a formidable political and military force. Founded in 1600, the company began as a modest venture aimed at trading spices, silk, and other exotic goods from the East. However, over the centuries, it evolved into a powerful entity, wielding immense influence and control over vast territories. Driven by insatiable greed and territorial ambitions, the company sought to expand its dominion over India. The lure of immense wealth and the strategic importance of the Indian subcontinent made it a prime target for the company's expansionist policies. The British East India Company was not just content with trade. It aimed to establish a monopoly over Indian commerce and resources. The rich resources and vast markets of the subcontinent were too tempting to resist. India was a land of abundance, with its fertile plains, mineral wealth, and bustling markets. The company saw an opportunity to exploit these resources for its gain, leading to a systematic and strategic approach to annexation and control. The company's officials, driven by profit and power, adopted aggressive policies that brought them into direct conflict with Hyder Ali and Mysore. These policies included manipulating local politics, forming alliances with certain factions, and using military force to subdue resistance. The company's expansionist agenda was clear: to dominate the Indian subcontinent and secure its economic interests. The company's relentless pursuit of profit and expansion alarmed Hyder Ali. As the ruler of Mysore, Hyder Ali was acutely aware of the threat posed by the British East India Company. He saw how the company was systematically undermining the sovereignty of Indian states using a combination of diplomacy, deceit, and military might. He witnessed the company's tactics, exploiting divisions among Indian rulers and using their military superiority to annex territories. The company was adept at playing one ruler against another, creating a web of alliances and enmities that served its interests. Hyder Ali understood that the company's ultimate goal was to establish complete control over India. He saw the company's growing influence as a direct threat to Mysore's independence and regional stability. The encroachment of the British East India Company into Mysore's territory was not just a political maneuver, it was an existential threat. Hyder Ali knew that if he did not act, Mysore would eventually fall under British control, losing its autonomy and cultural identity. Hyder Ali knew that a confrontation was inevitable. He began to prepare for war, understanding that only a strong and united front could resist the company's advances. Hyder Ali's preparations were meticulous, involving the strengthening of fortifications, the training of his army, and the formation of strategic alliances with other Indian states. He prepared his kingdom for war, determined to resist the company's expansionist ambitions. Hyder Ali's resolve was unwavering. He was committed to defending Mysore's sovereignty at all costs. The stage was set for a fierce and protracted conflict, one that would shape the future of the Indian subcontinent and challenge the might of the British East India Company. In the complex geopolitical landscape of 18th century India, alliances were fluid and often dictated by expediency. The subcontinent was a patchwork of kingdoms, each with its own ambitions and rivalries. The Mughal Empire, once dominant, was in decline, and regional powers like the Marathas, the Nizam of Hyderabad, and the Kingdom of Mysore were vying for supremacy. Amidst this turmoil, the British East India Company was steadily expanding its influence, using both diplomacy and military force to establish control over vast territories. Hyder Ali, the ruler of Mysore, was acutely aware of the British threat. Recognizing the need for powerful allies to counter the British, he turned to the French. The French, who had their own colonial aspirations in India, were eager to find local allies to counterbalance British power. This mutual interest laid the groundwork for a strategic alliance. The French saw an opportunity to counter British influence and expand their own foothold in the region. They were already entrenched in parts of India with significant military and commercial interests. By aligning with Hyder Ali, they hoped to create a formidable front against the British. The French provided substantial military support to Mysore. They trained Hyder Ali's troops in European military tactics, supplied them with modern weapons, and even sent French officers to assist in strategic planning. This infusion of expertise and technology significantly enhanced the combat capabilities of the Mysorean army. The French alliance proved to be a significant advantage for Hyder Ali in the early stages of the war. With French support, Mysore launched several successful military campaigns against the British, capturing key territories and disrupting British supply lines. The combined Franco-Mysorean forces were a formidable opponent, leveraging both local knowledge and European military techniques. French military expertise and weaponry bolstered the Mysore army's capabilities. The French-trained artillery units, in particular, played a crucial role in several battles, using advanced European cannons to devastating effect. The strategic planning sessions, often led by French officers, ensured that Mysore's military efforts were coordinated and effective. The alliance also posed a strategic challenge to the British. The combined threat from Mysore and the French forced the British to divert resources and manpower to counter this new front. British colonial troops had to be redeployed, and new fortifications were constructed to defend against potential attacks. The British were now fighting a war on multiple fronts, stretching their capabilities thin. This alliance, forged in the crucible of shared opposition to British expansion, would have a decisive impact on the early course of the Second Anglo-Mysore War. The combined Franco-Mysorean military efforts disrupted British plans and forced them to reconsider their strategies. The war would see many more twists and turns, but the alliance between Hyder Ali and the French was a pivotal moment in the struggle for control over southern India. The Second Anglo-Mysore War was just the beginning of a historic struggle. If you want to dive deeper into these thrilling tales of bravery and resistance, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Crazy Color Facts. Stay tuned for more incredible stories from history that shaped our world.